What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about American things that Brits would never allow in Britain. Well, geez, I didn't realize our American ways were so undesirable. I mean, I think we have a lot of redeeming qualities here, but maybe I'm a little bit biased. But anyway, today I want to take a look at this Reddit discussion where somebody asked, what American trends do you hope that the UK never adopts? So, for example, personally, this person thinks American prices drive me mad. You wouldn't think you could break something as simple as a price tag, and yet here we are? Break a price tag? American prices drive me mad? Like our stuff is overpriced? What do you mean you can't break a price tag? You have the price next to the product, but is what you'd expect to pay, right? Nope. Oh, any additional costs are tacked on after you've taken your stuff to the cash register. How ridiculous is that? Oh, because in Britain, don't you have the full price of the item right there on the price tag, right on the store shelf. Whereas here in America, I don't even think about this, but in America, we have like a price on the shelf. Buy the item. And then you take it up to the cash register and you scan it, and then tax and other fees are added onto it, and then you get the final price. But it's okay. And this is apparently this is something that Brits never want to happen in Britain. Honestly, I understand this. I get it, but it's funny as an American, I don't even think about this as like some big annoying ordeal. I think when you live long enough in America, if when you look at prices on the shelf, your mind instantly like calculates or adds on a little extra, and you're like, oh, this is gonna roughly be this much. If it's $4.99, it's really gonna be like $5.62, or I don't even know how my brain does it, but now that I say it out loud, it is a bit silly, isn't it? Why do we do that? I don't. So anyway, today I thought it would be very fun to hear about things here in America that Brits hope never become normalized in Britain. So let's take a look at some of the more answers here. Basically, things that British people think are silly about how we do stuff here in America. I got an open mind on this. Let's take a look here. Okay, here we go. MMDDYYY date format. Oh, month, day, year, date format. That's right. Is that what this whole video is going to be? Me realizing we do some strange things here in America. I hate to admit it. I can't even believe this is true. But when it's actually presented in front of me and I can't ignore it, it's like, yeah, why our price tags at the store don't even tell you the real price? Our date format. Why do we do it in this order? Month, day, year. How do you do it in Britain again? I would imagine it's day, month, year. So it goes from like smallest unit of time to largest. Am I correct about this? Or am I being a little ignorant here? Yeah, why? What would be the most logical way to do this? There's an argument to be made that you would go year, month, day. Because when you're telling someone like a date, you just start with like the year, which would be, the most relevant information in a way. Then you get to the month, and then you specify a day, year, month, day. I'm advocating for year, month, day. How do, how do, what's the date format in Britain? I actually have to look this up. I think it's a day, month, year. Yeah, it's day, month, year. I don't need day, month, year. Maybe neither of us are correct, actually. Maybe it should be year, month, day. Thoughts? Thoughts on that? No universal health care and mass shootings. Oh my God. Okay, okay. We really just went ahead and jumped right into this. Yeah. Um, Certainly, this is American stuff that Brits would not want to become normal in Britain. This is stuff that we don't want normal in America, but sadly is. Jeez, we really went here. No universal health care. Yeah, man. And you know what the sad thing is? This isn't even a topic of discussion in America. Like, when people are arguing about politics and we're getting ready to choose our president and our political representatives, we're talking about a lot of different issues, but never really about healthcare, or certainly not about universal healthcare or healthcare that is paid for by your taxes and the government. That's never even like a thought. It's kind of surprising, honestly. Like, America is that far away from ever even considering some sort of universal socialized healthcare sort of system. Like, we don't even talk about it. And I think a lot of Americans don't even bother learning about other systems of healthcare outside the United States. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one. Mass shootings. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Honestly, right now when I'm making this video, the other day or two, in the news in America, there was a shooting at a school. Literally, the other day. Not that it's like every day. Like, I don't want to exaggerate it that much, but you don't even have to exaggerate it that much to think it's pretty darn bad. The fact that it happens as often as it does in America is pretty bad enough, honestly. So, yes, yes. Imagine getting shot in school and then having to pay thousands not to die. Oh God. Ah! Oh no. Imagine. Yeah, imagine. I can't. No, can't imagine that. Ah, okay, what are some more things that Brits would never allow in Britain that we do in America? Ridiculous tips expected for every little thing. Yeah, so what is tipping like in Britain, really? Certainly not as prevalent as here in America, from what I understand. In America, it's funny how accurate this stuff is. Like, Brits really, like, even though you're out there in the UK, in Europe, pretty far away, you got some pretty good analysis of some of the problems we have here in America. Like, seriously, these are pretty good. The tipping in America has slowly gotten more and more crazy. I know one thing that really annoys a lot of people is that now you pay with a lot of stuff at a little touch screen or a little cashier, like a pad at the cash register. You put your credit card in, and it seems like for everything there's now a screen that pops up that says, how much would you like to tip? 15%, 20%, 50%. It's like you gotta like awkwardly find the no tip button, which they make very hard to find, and the person's like looking at you strange, like, hey, don't you want to tip me for passing you a bagel from the shelf behind me? It's like, no, not really. It used to be like you just tip people at like restaurants and like when you're getting a haircut, you know? Is it at all like that in Britain at all? I think it's gotten fairly bad in America, and yeah, that's a good one. Okay, more American. What's more American things that you would not want in Britain? This really kind of opening my eyes a bit. Like, why do we why do we have this here? This is just bad things. Yeah, excluding that from everything would certainly be maddening. VAT? What is VAT? Does that have to do with? Oh, that has to do with the tax. That's the first comment here about how when you buy things in America, the price tag doesn't reflect the full price. So they're agreeing with that. They're agreeing with the tipping culture. Staff should receive a salary, not the salary topped up with tips. Right. So in America, I don't know if this is true at all in Britain, but in America, if you're a server, a waiter at a restaurant, you get a horrible, horrible hourly pay. Like below the minimum wage in America. It really doesn't make any sense at all. But for some reason, that's allowed. Because waiters, it is assumed they are going to make up the bulk of their pay with tips. Tips from the patrons. So, like, waiters and servers depend on tipping in America to make up all the money they are not getting from their employer. They are getting a terrible salary. And I don't even know why that's allowed. Like, if they didn't have tips, they would be earning like $4 an hour or something crazy like that. Firing policies. As far as I can tell, there is zero job security and no safeguards against bad employers whatsoever. Yeah. I've learned a little bit about work and benefits, work-life balance in Britain. It sounds like in Britain you get so many more benefits. This is just going to make me depressed even thinking about it. You get lots of maternity leave, sick days, like vacation days. Like in America, it is you get like 2 weeks vacation max. Women get 3 months maternity leave if you have a baby. 3 months only. Men often get none unless they take time off. Yeah, you only have a limited number of sick days. Otherwise, you're gonna get like in trouble if you're sick too much. Doesn't even really make sense. And yeah, in America, the corporations have a lot of power. The government really doesn't exercise like much jurisdiction over companies in America, which can be good, free markets and all that, and bad in that the employers have total free reign over what they want to give as employee benefits. So the benefits are pretty bad in America. You're really, really hoping you get healthcare insurance from your employer. That's a huge, huge, huge thing in America. Getting healthcare coverage from your employer, or you are really screwed, honestly, for lack of a better word. And yeah, you can get fired. There's not a lot of protection. Suing everyone for absolutely everything. Yeah. I'm laughing. I'm laughing at some of this because it's like so true. And I'm laughing also because it's like I never even think about all this stuff today. I don't even think about it as being strange. Prices not shown as the real price. Not getting sick days, vacation and sick days, like tipping on everything, like, like school shootings, even. Suing everyone for everything. There's a lot of suing in the United States. There's that famous incident where this is the one we always hear about growing up when we're learning about how everyone sues everyone in America. There was someone who purchased a coffee from McDonald's a long time ago. You can look this up. This was a real lawsuit. They purchased a cup of coffee from McDonald's and were driving home and spilled the coffee on themselves. They spilled it on themselves. And they got pretty badly burned. And they were able to sue McDonald's for tons of money, if I'm correct. Somehow saying, like, I didn't know the coffee was going to be that hot. The coffee didn't say that it was going to be hot, even though it's like, you spilled coffee on yourself. Take some responsibility. Yeah. Fundamentalist religious nonsense. Let's keep the church in its place and not burn books. Yeah, I guess there's nothing really like the American South or Bible Belt, as we might call it. That doesn't really exist in the UK, huh? Yeah, there's like large parts of the United States that are fundamentalist like religions. Yeah, yeah. Like that's this is so interesting, actually. It's basically like today I get to see America through the eyes of British people. And the criticisms, like, well, which is a good thing. I think it's a good thing at the end of the day. Not having maternity leave. Yeah. Yeah. I think this is also one. Well, here's the funny thing. Like most Americans, I had no idea maternity leave was so bad in America. Because we don't have anything to compare it to, or we don't bother to compare it to other countries. Can you imagine having a baby, then needing to go back to work after a couple of weeks while you're still healing? Yeah, it depends on your job and your benefits, but most people get like 2 or 3 months, the women, giving birth. But apparently in other countries, you can get like a year or like many, many, many months or a year off of work. Absolutely insane to me. I mean, it sounds wonderful, and that's the way it should be. If you're taking care of a newborn baby, like, they need constant attention for at least a year. Like, there's no getting around it. So it's a huge struggle for Americans to figure out who's going to take care of the baby, because you got to get back to work. You got to make money. You got to live. Yeah. So most Americans just like accept this as a fact of life, but apparently in other countries it's not so. The Pledge of Allegiance at school. It's so creepy and cultish that they do that, and right-wingers here seem to be edging towards demanding it. People in the UK want a Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah, that's like the perfect example of, like, in America, something that you grow up doing. Going to school, and in the morning, you pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Like every day, and you never think anything of it. But then you like grow up, and you're like, God, I was like pledging an oath to my government for decades and didn't even really know you don't even know what you're saying when you're a little kid, and you're like, I pledge allegiance to the flag. Like, oh my God, what are we about to do? Are we going into battle? Like, it's strange when I think back on it. Yeah. So that's not a thing in the UK, and this was just a really interesting discussion, actually. Really interesting. This is a whole bunch of stuff that British people don't want in Britain. I can attest. This is all of this is totally normal in America. And it's funny to even think about it as, well, maybe it doesn't have to be normal here. But I don't really think that's happening anytime soon. But regardless, this was a very interesting discussion. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment, perhaps with your thoughts on American things that you hope never become normalized in Britain. That'd be very interesting to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Britain and learning about British culture, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.